Basically, we know that climate change is not a brand new topic for discussion. What is the rationale behind today's workshop?
Thank you very much. Climate change has started showing in Ghana for some time now, like you rightly said. And it's affecting individuals, communities, and for that matter, the nation as a whole. And as a way to deal with the climate change, we think that people must be informed. Friends of the Earth, which is an environmental organization, think that people must be informed, particularly people who are in the most vulnerable areas. They should know, understand that climate is changing, why it is changing, what are the present and future risks. People should know this. Then also, they should know about any national process and programs that is being put in place to deal with the problem. And so they can see their roles and responsibilities in how to deal with the climate change problem together from the home level to community level to the national level. So the essence of this workshop is to do exactly this way.
You talk about vulnerability, identifying maybe the three northern regions as some of the vulnerable communities, areas in Ghana. How vulnerable or how exposed are we to the negativity of the climate change?
The northern zones are actually lying in areas that is highly prone to climate change and its impact. They are in fact the most climate risk areas. First of all, even before climate change came, these areas experienced long drought periods and short rainfall seasons, which had led to desertification and land degradation. Then climate change, which itself is about unpredictability of the weather condition, has come to aggravate the situation. So what is happening? We see erratic rainfall patterns, unreliable rainfall patterns. The rainfall is now, the season is now being shorter in the dry lands than before, though they were not having it much in the past, becoming shorter. Secondly, even when it will come, it comes heavily in a short period compared to other areas. So in that situation, it leads to flooding. And people cannot cope because this has not been our style of life. In addition to this, most of the water bodies have dried in the area. Unfortunately, the water canals, the canals where water must flow through are also being silted with sand through erosion.
During your presentation, one thing that came up very strongly was the issue of the gender dimension when it comes to climate change.
Yeah.
Let's go into that.
Yeah, gender actually means that different roles of women and men. That is gender. Yeah. But when it comes to some specific issues, we can just squarely say that it's women. For instance, when we talk about climate change, we are saying that the effects are such that it is affecting food productivity. It is leading to less rainfall. Water bodies are drying up. Even where there are dams and the rest, during heavy and erratic rainfall, they are flooded. So women who have responsibility for looking for water for the family, for looking for food for the family, and for looking for firewood for the family, have these sectors been negatively affected. So the big challenge that is posed to them is how will the women continue to get these things? Because climate change will not stop. It will even lead to less water availability, less firewood, less food. So if we mirror this in terms of who has the responsibility now and into the future, you will see that women are at a worse receiving point.
I had an interview with an environmentalist just a couple of weeks ago, and one thing that he was very emphatic about was the fact that the poverty situation of the North is getting aggravated largely due to climate change. And maybe I don't have that environmental eyes to see those things that are the responsible factors. What are these things that you think are immediately aggravating the poverty situation of northern Ghana?
Yeah, you know, in the northern sector of the country, the livelihoods, people's livelihood depend directly on the land. Majority of people are farmers, small-scale farming, for their own subsistence. And this has come under the threat of climate change. So because this person can no more farm the way he has been farming, the land has eroded because of heavy rainfall. The land has become infertile. He has no resources.
New diseases are
coming. He has no resources to respond, to buy new seeds, to be able to drive away the pests, to be able to even organize his or her own manure to nourish the soil if he has the opportunity. Definitely the source of this person's income has been cut. And subsequently, his life has changed. And once climate change is not stopping, it's continuing, so is the challenges to these people's income and livelihood. It's also aggravating. And because of this, it is leading to multiple challenges. Young girls are having to live here, leaving their aged parents. Men have to live to other areas, leaving their wives and children. And even where they go, they are not likely to do anything comfortably to be able to resource the home. So the climate change has been kick-started. The poverty.
The social dimension.
Yeah, it's a social dimension. So even poverty does not only mean that you don't have money in your pocket. Even it means where you are residing. During flood, we see people's homes are taken over the flood. There are little food that they have is soil. Whatever they may have on the field is taken over. Sometimes bushfire. So the challenging situation of climate change has made the people, has exposed them to destruction of whatever they depend on. Climate change is, the challenges are said that no one person can say that he has knowledge of what could address the situation. Nevertheless, individual problems, individual people who are in the situation are the best people, to be involved in seeking adaptation strategies to deal with the problem. But there are a few that I can also reflect on. For instance, water. Water is becoming scarce. So if we are able to get some rainwater harvested, even at individual home level, then for a brief period, these people, somebody who have water collected in his or her own backyard to use for a while. And I've said that water floods. There's flood which destroys and it runs away. It destroys people, and in the next few days it goes and we can't capture it. Could we not, in this area in particular, since we don't have pipe-borne water for now, and most rivers that could have been connected as water supply to communities have dried up, could we not carefully develop these things and harvest this water into dams and put proper measures on its usage? Because when I was coming from Sola to Wa, I saw a few dams, but some of the dams have human beings and cattle interacting at the same time. So though that water may be there, it is not there. It's not available. So these are some of the things that we can also look at. Then when we go to agriculture, which is the mainstay of the people. In the presentation, the EPA Regional Director shows some good strategies on the ground, which some people are engaging in. He showed how people can engage in land and water management. through stone laying activities. One of them, he called them the half moon, which I think is something that is working for the people. But the question is, to what extent are other areas and even other members in the community being drawn to this indigenous technology so that they can also learn from this? That is a challenge. But it also needs resources. What is the cost of that technology? The way the people are going about finding the stones, getting labor, what are the costs? So these are some of the things that we are saying that the current strategy development phase of the agri sector to combat climate change should involve the local people, those at the community level. They will be able to tell us the amount of labor involved, the cost involved, so that we can even do an evaluation to see whether it is feasible at all, rather than a consultant taking a pen, oh, I've seen this there, this is how it can work. That may not be the solution. So that is why we have come to town to meet with the farmer-based organizations, the NGOs, and the media to begin to kickstart interest in how they can work in collaboration so that they can get their voices properly heard by policymakers who otherwise may not read them with this basic information.
You made mention of the fact that knowledge building or skills development, capacity building are very, very important ingredients if we want to overcome climate change, the impact of climate change. But we also know that information sharing, communication, awareness creation is very, very important. How are those tools relevant in our today's needs in terms of overcoming the challenges that climate change poses?
Yeah. Let's take a research. I will combine research and communication. For instance, I've said at the beginning that now we don't know when the rain will fall. And when it's going to fall to, we don't know. When it's going to end, we don't know all these things. And it is only information. Assuming the information is somewhere, the technology is somewhere. So research now needs to tell us what is the new pattern, what are the new pattern of rainfall looks like, so that farmers can be prepared and will not be taken by surprise. So research will have to tell us when is the new rainy season going to begin and when will it end. When is the best planting season and which crops should we have to plant. Now, when this information is there by research, now communication must take it to the right people.
So it's a link.
Yeah, at the right time. Then capacity building must follow. Now people have the information. What the information may demand that they may have to begin to do certain new things before certain things can happen in line with the new research finding. How will they do this? So this is what the policy is saying, that all these things are becoming pillars if we are to succeed. Communication, research, capacity building, good governance, participation in decision making, involving the people directly. These are the key pillars, and they are interlinked. We cannot do one and leave the other and think that we are going to succeed. So communication is very important, research is very important, capacity is very important, and these are things that we must provide local communities easily. We have to spend money on these things. However, it will cost to get these things on the ground for the local people, because the climate change will not stop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.